What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals. We talk about how we're getting healthy, and then we didn't. So I got sick again. Don't you were the
No.
last one to cause this issue. You were sick last time we were starting to get consistent. Then it was Kyle, and then we were starting to get consistent. Then me. That's what it's been mostly me. But come on now, don't
Yeah,
act
I've been
like it's
sprinkled in
not
there.
been you.
I've been
You were
sprinkled in
dead
there
for
a few
like 3 weeks.
I came back.
We're
I'm better.
here. We're still aiming for that 2,000. Help us get there. We'll give a free hoodie away. Thank you to Moomio patrons, Kimberly Karen. Go be a patron. Get some merch. I'll link down in the description. This is the podcast. We have seen films. I'm sure we'll review, hopefully on Monday, Furiosa. Kyle hasn't seen it yet, but I have.
I'm
In
so
IMAX.
jealous.
God, it was so loud. It was so loud in IMAX. I was like, this might be
Yes.
too loud. Let's turn it down.
Yes,
My God.
let me
But I
hear
think it's
that.
my seats.
That's amazing.
All right. Let's start with all of Kyle's notes. I nixed half of them. Kyle, I didn't see Fall Guy. It's falling at the box office. It's already
It fell out of
fallen right
theaters.
onto streaming services. It's still playing where I'm at.
In a few in spots, yeah.
But you hated it, huh?
No, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was like it was harkening back to the types of movies where like the movie stars do the heavy lifting, not so much like the script. I want to say that the script is like the strongest part of the movie, but I would say like the movie stars being Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt did a lot of the heavy lifting. Like I thought their chemistry was pretty good. I liked that their lovers / rivalry that was going on through the movie had some nice comedic touches to it. But it was the type of Ryan Gosling performance that I've been really liking, and it seems like he's swinging for more often with this and Barbie, in that he just wants to be goofy and silly, but yet also have like his action hero moments at the same time. And I think this movie does deliver very well on the action front. It was funny watching the action in this movie too, because it felt like they felt like properly in scale of the movie, but at the same time, it felt like a backlocked, type of feel where you're almost getting like the behind the scenes in the process of watching the action scenes being done, of like how much work and thought goes into like stunt work and choreography. And that was really like my biggest takeaway and what I liked most about the movie. Otherwise, like its mystery plot delivered pretty well. I'm sure some people would think like it wasn't that big of a mystery to begin with, but I wasn't really looking for this movie to be that type of way. I just wanted to have like a fun action comedy and to see a good romance involved in between. And, it delivered on those elements. So I liked it. I liked it enough, had a good time with it, had enough comedy to where I was able to chuckle on the way. Yeah, just good vibes for it.
Nice. I might check it out on Streamer. It's on Peacock.
Yeah, I think so.
I wanted to see it. It's a bummer that it failed so miserably.
Yeah.
But all right, moving on. Planet of the Apes. Now here we go.
You want to
Kingdom
start?
of the Planet of the Apes was great. I loved it. It's as good as all the others. In fact, I think it adds some layers that I think are excellent. It's a review we meant to do, but again, we were both dying.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it?
Yeah. I think because I rewatched the previous movies, I didn't feel like it was necessarily on par with those three, but I still enjoyed myself and I still thought it was very good. And I would agree with you about the layers of the mythology, or the, I guess, ideology behind like what Caesar was trying to stand for in terms of like how he thinks humans and apes could get along. But I like I liked his history and his, I guess, teachings getting lost along the way. It felt very real world and believable that someone could take his good intentions and warp them into something bad and for their own selfish purposes, which made the villain of the movie very enjoyable to watch. Not just for that, but also just because that actor, I'm spacing on his name now, but he has a great screen presence, even though it's all mocap stuff. It's kind of funny just to say it out loud. But I liked in this movie too that it felt like a lone cowboy or lone samurai type of story to where he's trying to rescue his village.
Kevin
And along the
Durant.
way, he learns more about Caesar, but he's also still unsure if like that is the right direction to go in terms of trying to get along with humans. Even though there's a good side plot with him getting along with a human and um, him still trying to figure out that right balance so that way he could become a good leader and maybe follow in the footsteps of Caesar. We'll see. But um, otherwise, I thought the filmmaking was still good in it, even though I didn't think it was on par with the other movies that we've seen. But
Rank
I,
them.
I just like the scope
All
of it.
four. Rank them.
I like Dawn the most. War would come next for me. And then I might give it to Rise. I think Rise over Kingdom.
I think Rise and Kingdom are very similar, but I think Kingdom has some layers that I like better. I would do the same, but flip flop the two of them.
I hear
I
that.
think all four of them are excellent. I don't.
Yeah,
I can't. I don't know what you're saying over here with this. You know, it's not the first three. I just let. They're all great. All four of them are excellent. I enjoyed the themes. I
mm-hmm.
love the layers. I think this movie is on par with Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I think they're both setting up what they want to make a trilogy. I
Sure.
think the character of Noah is so excellent.
That actor did a
It
great
is a little
job.
bit slower. And you talked about the mocap, but mocap has gotten to the point where it's putting on a costume almost at this point now with the
Yeah.
way it's digitally handled. I mean, it is their facial expressions. I've seen interviews with Kevin Durant and the actor who played Noah, Owen Teague, and
Mm,
they are like doing those motions with their faces, and so it's just
yeah.
excellent. I thought Freya Allen was also great as Nova, and she was a great addition
Yeah.
to this group. I liked her in The Witcher, even though I don't love The Witcher show. Only watched seasons 1 and 2 and then stopped caring, but
Mm-hmm.
really didn't even care halfway through season 2, to be honest. But
Ouch.
I thought this was great. I am looking forward to the next movie because they are only making bangers. They're only making bangers. They've all hit. All four of them are great in their own
Yeah.
respective way, and I adored it. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's.
It's great to see a franchise that doesn't dip in quality to a nth degree. That's for sure. Like
I
this.
wouldn't even say it's dipped.
Yeah. No, that's what
Like
I'm saying. Like
you can
it.
yeah you could
Yeah.
say Dawn, like there is a difference between Dawn and War versus the other two, but they're still all great,
Mm,
all a good time.
yeah. Even
All
some
right,
years later from the last one. It's very nice to
Kyle and
see.
I next wanted to talk about X-Men '97. I grew up watching it here and there. I mean, I've seen most of it. I remembered quite a few of the through plot lines and things that happened
Mm,
to some characters. But I really enjoyed the show. Thought it was great. I'm not as big of I don't have the insane love that a lot of people do, but I still really enjoyed the show. Um, Finally got around to seeing it. Wasn't waiting for anything other than just an opportunity to sit down and start, and finally
mhm.
finished it
Yeah.
just a couple days, week ago, something like that. I think the finale wasn't that long ago either, week or
This
two
week or last
ago,
week.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I really liked it. All the actors did a great job with the performances. Although for me, it was hard to hear Cyclops because that actor, he's in so many animes. I was like, oh,
Mm.
all I'm hearing is my boy from Demon Slayer, Tengen, or Sukuna from JJK, baby. So,
Mm.
but anyway, Kyle, what would you think of it?
Yeah. For me, I did the weekly format, and I'm glad that I did because it made to me it felt like it made the experience more fun. Like always, just being excited next week for the next episode, seeing where the story goes. Not that there's anything wrong with like wanting to binge it, but it's just my perspective of
I
it is
didn't
probably
want to binge
different
it.
Compared to yours. I know, but you just
I
wound
had
up
other
doing it, and
shows, and
yeah,
I didn't have I like the old X-Men show, but I didn't have enough gusto to go running to it. I just didn't have a chance. I don't know what. I didn't choose to wait. I
I'm
started when there
not
were 8
meaning you
episodes left. Why are
specifically,
you
Al.
attacking me?
I'm
What are you
not
doing here?
meaning you specifically.
What you
I'm
talking
just
about?
saying
I
in
started
general.
when there were 8 episodes out. And I think I actually caught up the day after the finale came out.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
it just happened that way. I didn't even know what day they were airing on. I just found it out after. No idea. It is a better
Anyway,
format though, weekly. Better
I
format.
enjoyed the weekly format of it all because it did what we've been criticizing about. It keeps the conversation going and it makes shows fun, especially a show that I think exceeded everyone's expectations, to be honest. At least in my opinion, it exceeded my own expectation. But I'm in the same boat as Aldo when it comes to the original show too. I liked my comics, I liked my superhero media, but X-Men um, came out like before I was born or while I was, 0 to 5. Like I wasn't watching that stuff at the time, so I was only watching the reruns on the occasion where I could. But um, so it just didn't hold a special place in my heart. But this show, I was very impressed by. I was very impressed by the clear love and passion that is not just in terms of loving animation, but just in terms of X-Men and that show in general. Like you could feel that these showrunners and these animators found the spark to be able to take what they loved about the X-Men show, which let's be honest is good, but it is not like, the peak even at that time of like animation or of story quality. Like it definitely had its, share of hiccups and ups and downs, but this one, just takes a whole bunch of notches to where the animation from the fight styles to just, the slowing down and having communication and having nice conversations between characters and making interesting character dynamics and relationships were just some of the best parts of the show to me, as well as that animation that I was describing prior. And for me, as someone who enjoys its superhero media, it's nice to be able to feel like a refreshness of like loving this type of genre and just loving X-Men in general. It's nice to have that spark back and to see audiences kind of relearning and rediscovering like why X-Men can be good, from, some of the characters to like the subject matters of, discrimination between, normal people versus mutants, similar to the way that even in the comics, those parallels are made for like the civil rights movements or the complexities between the LGBTQ plus community and their own fights that they have to do as well. So I'm glad that those parallels were also put on display very properly, I think, when it comes to this show. So
And
yeah,
let's talk about that. I think we should
yeah,
talk about that. That's a good segue here on the future of the live action X Men and the direction they should go, because Kyle's got hot and heavy opinions about it. Uh, and everything Kyle just said is when I think X Men is at their strongest, when they focus on storylines that are a little bit more grounded in more, with the themes of just how people have been oppressed.
hmm
Like you said, with the race themes or the LGBTQ plus, or just
hmm
World War II with the Jews and the Germans and everything
hmm
like that. So um, that's where I think they need to go and focus on when they finally get introduced. But I know you've got some heavy opinions on this one. What do you want them only new? New is always better, in the words of Barney Stinson. Kyle says new is always better.
yeah, new is always better. Um, that is my one. Well, now I have a few gripes with this show, but the big one that I have when it comes to the X-Men show, I appreciate that this is like a reintroduction of audiences to what makes X-Men special, but I just wish at the same time that it could have been a new show entirely and not connecting off of an older show. For myself, despite me not like watching that old X-Men show, that 90s show religiously, I still was able to have that along with X-Men Evolution, Wolverine, the X-Men. I was able to have three X-Men shows in the time that I was growing up as a kid. And so if I was a kid, maybe this is incorrect of me to say, maybe I'm wrong, but I would want my own thing. I would want to be able to grow up with my own X-Men show and not necessarily grow up with like my dad's X-Men show. And maybe that's wrong. Maybe
Kids don't
this
know
X-Men
that.
show is doing the trick to where it's bringing families together, which would be awesome. Maybe
Number one
kids
show
are
on
able to
D
handle
plus.
like this show being more adult compared to even like the 90s show ever was. But I just think that it would be nice to move forward with X-Men, because I think with X-Men media, it has been so stuck in um, the storylines of the 70s, 80s, even 90s to where it worked for like the 90s show and the 2000s movies, but now we're heading into the 2020s and we are so far into the future compared to where we were 10, 20 years ago, and there's just been different X-Men stories being introduced now, different teams, different characters, that I would totally be okay with not just a new show, but the new movies that might be coming out soon where we could see those stories being adapted or just different stories being adapted and not being stuck on another Phoenix saga, another connection to Apocalypse. Like, those are of another time. I think we could move forward, do different stories, maybe try different characters. We'll see about that, but I would just totally be okay with moving forward for myself.
I just think they need to be grounded for the live action. All your stuff, your negatives about the show, I don't really care enough to. I don't care if you call it 97 and related or not. I don't think kids care. Uh, I think the idea of a dad getting to be like, "Hey kids, like I loved this show growing up. They brought it back. Let's watch it together." Is cool, but
Yeah.
um, I personally just think the new X-Men moving forward need to focus on these a little bit more grounded storylines. Like when you think of First Class, how good First Class really was is trying to be like a little bit of a reboot for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you watched it more recently and had some change opinions, but I remember Days of Future Past being able to handle a bigger story, but also be very grounded compared to Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
I think that's the vein we need to focus on more. Like all be down for another round of brand new X-Men in the MCU. Give me an X-Men movie, Charles Xavier out there going and getting the first group of X-Men together. That sounds great to me. I think that all is due, and I just think they need to keep it on those narratives and the relationship between Magneto and Charles Xavier. I think that's your big draw moving forward,
Yeah.
um, but X Men's a long way away. It seems like they want to do Fantastic Four before they do that. So um,
Yeah, totally. You could just tell in the tens with the departure from First Class and Days of Future Past to Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix of the change of like the times when it came to blockbusters and trying to make everything equal to like interconnecting universe MCU type of style, and it tries to go away from that, tries to make everything bigger in scope than it needs to be instead of going back to the more grounded personal rivalry stuff over like the big epic bad guyness, the connecting of like franchise and characters and stuff like that. It definitely got lost along the way in the tens for sure. Yeah, you're right about the grounded stuff for sure. I mean, I still remember back to, X-Men and X-Men 2, and like the best moments for me of those movies were the moments of like Iceman seeing his parents again after being at Xavier's school for so long. They're like, "Oh, you're still a mutant? Like, I thought you would have gotten rid of that by now." Like just those types of stuff where they're just gut punches where you're like, you're his parents, man. You're supposed to, through no matter like what he has going on, you're supposed to be there, but you're so, up your own butt that you can't even look past that. You can't even look past his difference. And um I just hope that they make sure to stay true to that stuff. And despite being the MCU, it's going to have connections to, all these other properties. I hope that they find a way to still go to that grounded type of stuff that we're both describing
it's
here.
a challenging task. I think they need to stick with the ideology battle, right? X Men's about a battle of ideology at the end of the day when it comes to Charles and Magneto over there.
It's the
Like
best stuff of the show. Yeah.
it's. I think this is how we should handle. I don't want to be treated this way. While we should. I mean, it's similar to the themes of Planet of the Apes, all the themes we talked about just a little bit ago. So,
Yeah.
um, also they're in an interesting position because in the first OG X-Men movies, and then even in First Class, the world doesn't like people with powers.
Mm-hmm.
But in the MCU, a bunch of people have powers, and the whole world's like fans of them and things. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do weave them in and
Yeah.
what they will do because they have a it's harder to do that at this
Totally.
moment if they're gonna just have it be a separate universe, that's fine in one thing. If they're gonna bring them together, that's its own thing. But
Yeah, it
uh,
definitely works in comics because the audience for comic books is able to suspend their disbelief despite seeing one group of superpowered people not being called mutants versus another. Um, for audiences in movies, I think for the most part they can look past that. Like we've come such a long way to where audiences will be like, sure, big purple man with a giant magic glove. That's fine. We can believe that. So I
I
think the
actually
mutant
think
stuff
our
could be
fandom,
fine. You go. What were
I
you saying?
think we're in a point in our fandom that that is not true. I think if they can't just have all these people hate the mutants at this point in the MCU, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think these wacko MCU fans that have been up, been
There needs
brought
to be an
up on these
explanation.
movies, they will demand one. They
Yeah.
won't be able to handle that. I mean, even '97, Hulk showing up, they're showing off everybody that's not
Mm.
an X-Men too. Like people are showing up, and so
Yeah.
and you still have to think like, oh, nobody cares that the Hulk. Why are we all fighting about that? Captain America's pretty cool. I guess just because he works for the government. Like they
Yeah. That
they
was.
they should address those. They should with the MCU, and I think it's smart to
Mm.
do so. There are ways to make it work where you can address it and have people not like mutants, but be okay with the way
Yeah.
heroes are acting. I just hope they do it in a right way.
Yeah. No, you
So,
basically were able to finish my thought for me in a more elegant manner than I would
oh,
have. But
sorry.
no, you're all good. I'm glad that you caught up to what I was gonna say, pretty much. But it's funny because for me, like reading X-Men comics from time to time, I didn't read a lot of them, just from time to time. But even I would occasionally be like, why aren't they like? Why are they being called mutants? Why do people look at them that way, just so differently? But that's also the metaphor behind it is the purpose
Yeah.
of is the point of the whole thing. Obviously, like it's one thing when there's a kid with three eyes and he's like guzzling venom out of him versus like Cyclops who's like, I just have to wear sunglasses and I look I'm still handsome.
Uh,
So suspend the disbelief, of course, when it comes to like aspects of picking apart everything is all I'm saying. But I just want I'm ready for some X-Men again, man. The show brought me back to wanting X-Men. It's also brought me back to wanting to read X-Men again. I don't read a
well,
lot
that's
of X-Men
cool.
growing up, but it's gotten me
It
back
didn't
to reading some of it now. So
it didn't move
it's
my
nice.
needle one bit.
That's all right.
Although
Just glad you
maybe
liked
maybe I
it.
take that back. I did have the thought of maybe wanting to go back and rewatching those original 2000s X-Men movies up through like Days of Future Past. I was thinking about maybe
Sure.
doing something like that. So I guess I moved it a little.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, moving on. There's a Superman picture that came out a while ago, and
Yeah.
everybody lost their minds.
Everyone
And
lost their minds.
I've seen a lot of things by really whack ass comments. I've had conversations with people at my job about this picture and
Really?
if they
Oh.
like it and stuff. And like, I don't get it. I'm looking at it right now.
Do you
It's
want to?
very clear. What?
I was gonna ask. Can you share one of the comments
Too
that
bright.
you're too
I've heard a
bright?
lot of too bright, too flashy.
This muted picture?
Why is he not going back there with everybody? Um,
Going back?
Look, going back where the giant massive ray of light is exploding in the air and shooting down. I've heard a lot of people complain about that online.
It's not supposed to have
Uh,
context. It's just
here's
cool.
here's my thoughts, okay?
Yeah,
Because
do
I'm
it.
not a stan like Kyle here, okay? We're not talking
Mhm.
Luke Skywalker here, great, real good characters. We're talking about Superman. No, I'm just kidding. I do love Superman, but I'm not as big into the world of DC as much. Oh, real quick on the X-Men, I meant to say this.
Mm.
Still though, to this day, how many times is Warner Brothers gonna keep trying the Flash just to never make a better scene than the scene Quicksilver has in Days of Future Past? They're gonna whoever made that in Days of Future Past. Every day he sits down and he just enjoys his life. Whoever came
Still
up with that
peak.
idea, because it is still so much better than anything else I've seen ever out of any of the Flash anything. But anyway, I'm going to give you my thoughts first. I liked the
Please do.
costume. I also don't care that much about the costume. Does he have the big old S? Great. That's what matters to me. But
Mhm.
I'm a bit more, back. But look, you look at his pants, and it's pretty clear that all that he's just seen battle. Like he is putting this back on to me, right?
Looks
He's
dirty.
just seen a fight because it looks
Mhm.
dirty. I don't care if it's bright blue, dark red, bright red. I don't care. I hope he does a good job. Everybody is like, Henry Cavill. I love Henry Cavill too. Okay, I do. I thought he was a great Superman. Calm down. We're in a new era. A lot of people complained, oh, you're not going to keep Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart for Magneto and Charles Xavier, and then boom, you get Michael Fassbender and why can't I think of his name off the top of McAvoy.
Yeah.
And look how great they were. Arguably better. You can you can make an argument they're better.
No,
you can make the argument.
You can make it. Yeah.
I think this picture's cool. Like cool. I mean, it didn't move the needle. Give me a trailer, James. That's what I want. But I'm glad everybody's loving it. I think James Gunn makes really good movies. I hope the humor's not too much. I mean, that's what I care about. How's his script? Is Superman going to be making yuck jokes like Peter Quill? Like that's what I care about. I don't give a crap about his suit. His suit looks fine. Calm down. You're all whiners. Every single one of you. I'm looking at you right now. You're all a whiner. You just got to complain about something. Now go ahead, Kyle. Complain about it. I don't even remember Kyle's opinion on it, to be honest.
I don't have strong opinions about it. I like it. Mostly I was honestly paying attention to the hair. I like the hair in the little curl that almost looks like it's going to be the S. For some reason, that's what I was drawn more to over outside of the costume.
I guess it does kind of look like an S. Like
yeah,
a S.
It's not the right angle, but there's always been that curl that some make it as an S, some make it as a curl of the hair, but I don't know. For some reason, that's what I was drawn to the most. Outside of that, yeah, I see a lot of people pointing out that the logo is similar to the Kingdom Come logo. The collar going up like on his neck is similar to the 52 look. So it's just a mishmash of things. I do like that there's tights over the pants. Makes me hopeful that we're going towards like a more old-fashioned type of Superman feel for like the character, not necessarily for the costume itself, even though there's like a little hint of that.
Gotta have the underwear.
Gotta have the underwear, man. It's classic. It doesn't. I mean, if it didn't have underwear, that's fine. I'm just saying. I'm like, oh, okay. So he wants to go that route. That's a nice touch. Why not? I'm all for it. I'm also hoping for more like hopeful optimism out of DC and just go in that direction over like dark and brooding anyway. So I'm fine with having those little moments of like, you know, in terms of like the costume design and stuff like that, maybe hinting towards that. So that's why I'm like especially partial of it. But otherwise, it looks good. It looks good enough to me. I want to see how it looks in motion when it comes to like a trailer and the actual movie. A still image, like we're thinking about it now, but in 2 years' time, we're not going to think about it at all. You know what I mean? We're going to be thinking about what we saw out of the movie. And that's what matters the most. Hopefully it looks good in motion.
Everybody complained about Affleck when his first images came out as Batman, and a lot of people still think he was a great Batman in bad movies.
Yeah.
A lot of people complained about Robert Pattinson when those first images came out, and now it's arguably one of the best, if not the best, Batman movie we've ever had. I also hear so many complaints about like, oh my gosh, all they did was hire an actor to like they just hired a Henry Cavill lookalike, and it's like him. Like if you're gonna make Token, if you're gonna make Token Superman, he's got to be a big guy, tall, and big guy.
Yeah.
And like what are we doing here? Like
we can say this about white people. We all look the same. Like you're not gonna get much out of it, man.
Like, and if they want to change and really make him I mean, there was talk about Michael B. Jordan playing Superman at one point. He wanted to do a Superman movie. Great, he would have been a great Superman. Still would be. Yeah. But like, what are we arguing about here? A Henry Cavill lookalike. He's a tall white guy with a chiseled jawline, and he's ripped. I actually don't think he's as big as Henry Cavill, and I prefer that because Henry Cavill as Clark Kent was always a little too beefy. It's like, all right, Clark, you're telling me you can't get the ladies aren't swooning over you at the old Daily Bugle or Planet, whatever. What is it? The Daily Planet, Bugle,
Daily Planet, yeah.
My
the
gosh.
the thing with him is that he didn't hide. Like, yeah, he has a physical appearance, but like you're supposed for me with Clark Kent, you're supposed to also like still make him like a doof. Like, yeah, he's big, but he also hunches over and like he still trips over flower plants. You know what I mean? Like he's supposed to like kind of disguise himself despite like his
Yeah.
big size, so people are like, oh, he's just a moron. Like he can't be Superman. He's not gonna fly out a window
It's
anytime soon.
like when you
And
got a mid 20-year-old Andrew Garfield playing a high school student, and everybody was like, he's a great Spider-Man, but man, he's just too good looking to be a
right,
geeky
right,
Peter Parker.
yeah, that
Even
was missing
Tom's
with
getting to
Cowboys.
that point, Tom. If Tom didn't have the Avengers in his own little movie by himself, we might be saying the same thing. Tom, you're a little too good looking,
I
okay,
saw
to be in high school anymore. But he was younger. He was actually the age,
he was more
the
baby face
appropriate
back
age in
then.
the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw he shared a photo of him doing a Romeo and Juliet
Hey, he's doing a play.
play. Is it Broadway? I don't know.
I don't
But and
know.
that dude has like matured, man. Like he has like a hell of a jawline. He's much more beefy. I'm like, oh, you're
He's
not
also, I think, quit
Peter
drinking.
Parker anymore. You're an adult.
Yeah, he's also like quit drinking and stuff. I know I've seen interviews where he's talked
That
about
helps.
he's made some life changes and he didn't want to
Yeah,
live in LA because of how bad LA can be and stuff. Great. Hey, he's just
yeah, man, smart.
hanging out with his girls in Zendaya. Don't blame you, Tom. Don't
Yeah,
blame you. Uh, all right. Superman looks fine. If you're freaking out over it, calm the heck down. We get it. You loved the DC movies, and most of them suck.
hmm
But
real
and like
quick.
they're not redeemable. They're not getting better with. They are getting worse with age.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Uh, did you see the biggest complaint I saw out of the costume was that the actor clearly can't fit in the suit because it has
He's
wrinkles on
putting
the
it on.
shoulders.
That's a wrinkle.
If you like look at it, you can see that like he has his shoulders hunched up because he's like putting on a boot
This
in
is what
that
they
position.
want. They want just. I'm
Perfect
Superman.
screenshot.
Yeah,
But like,
because Henry Cavill was in a suit that didn't allow for any flexibility. I would rather he
yeah,
makes the suit at home, doesn't he? Doesn't he build his own suit? It's not
his
some special suit.
his mom also like built it. She sewed it for
Sewed
him.
it together. Good.
Yeah,
I hope it's a hodgepodge suit. I don't want
yeah.
some
I would like that too.
technical space suit. I
Mhm.
want him to be. I hope there's a whole montage of him just sitting there sewing it like the old school Spidey
He's
days.
poking his finger. Oh.
Yeah, seriously. He's like, oh wait, that didn't hurt.
Just kidding, Ma.
Let's see. Moving on. Streamers, they're bundling. They're all
finally
coming
happening.
together.
Yeah,
I
man.
called it in an argument to the death. At my cousin's graduation, college graduation, there was about 8 of us in a
It
circle.
was a summer day.
I had one ally, Caleb. Shout out to you. Everyone else, I mean, it was such a heated argument that they either act like it never happened or they don't bring it up because that's how heated it got. And we were right. We said eventually it's all going to become cable again. They're going to have to bundle. We're going to have to bundle to the point where my brother kept being like, I hate the word bundle now because we would say it so much when we were like, they're going to bundle. And look what happened. They bundled. You're going to be able to get, what is it? Max, D Plus, and
Hulu.
ESPN or something. Hulu. I thought Hulu was going away.
Still around. Oh,
No, I thought it was going away by the end of the year.
I have no idea.
But
No clue.
yeah, it makes sense. And then Peacock and Apple or something were like, yeah, well, let's do that too.
And Netflix with ads.
And
yeah.
Netflix, yeah. It's like, yeah, no, all they've done is you get on all of a sudden one day and suddenly you were paying for no ads and now you're not because they kept you at that tier level, but they made the more no ads less expensive. I've stopped paying for some of the ones without ads because I actually at the end of the day don't give a crap about commercials or not. People who are like, I hate calm down, get up, go to the bathroom, then you don't have to pause. You whiny little babies. Everybody's whining these days.
It just shows how greedy that we are with getting stuff instantly now. Like the patience is gone.
Oh.
You know, I even see it with myself when I
it's
watch
gone.
some things. Like I'll like have a YouTube video and I'll catch myself like skipping the intro just to get to the meat of something. I'm like, what am I doing? So I have to like start over anyway, and then an ad appears. So I'm like, well, I made this worse for myself. But it's bad, man. It's hopefully, like with ads coming back, people learn to chill. I don't know. Is that weird to say?
I don't know. These bundles make sense because eventually people are going to stop paying for them. All the streamers have been like, wait a minute, we're not making a lot of money. Even Netflix is like, we're going to dial it back on our bad movies, even though they just released a really bad movie with like Jennifer Lopez or something that I keep hearing about. It's just terrible. Called Atlas, I believe. My dad watched it.
Oh, why, man?
Oh my, he's always checking it out.
Okay.
Hey, nobody watches a bad Netflix movie like my dad, though. You know,
he makes it a good time.
He makes it a great time. Only reason to keep making a bad Netflix movie. His Letterbox ratings are wild, man.
Oh yeah, I saw one of his.
Yeah, The Great Wall.
Yeah, that one made me.
Yeah, that movie's a 2. Not even. Maybe a 1.
Yeah, probably a 1.
Put it down. There's some fun little action sequences in there. You didn't see it. You don't know. I saw it.
Action looks fine, but I sometimes it's good to place a bet on yourself and know when you're right about something. You know what I mean? Like that one didn't. That one never looked good.
Cocky bastard. No, I'm just. No, it didn't. It didn't. I just went because I wanted to have a good time. I think I might have gone with my dad. I don't know. Hey, probably. Nobody knows. Can we, Kyle? Why was this not on the list? Speaking of movies that just tickle me silly, I can't tell you how freaking hyped for Twisters I'm getting. Every single trailer, I'm like, I'm gonna ride my fears, Glenn Powell. Hey, you don't face them, you ride them. I am so hyped for Twisters. It's not even funny. We fly out the weekend it comes out. The girlfriend doesn't want to see it. So you know what? I'm going the day before by myself. We're going to fly out the next day. I might see it twice. I might have a chance. I might have the time. I might just go 2 times back to back. 2 Twisters, 2 showings, 2 owls, baby. Are you kidding me? I'm so hyped for Twisters. I can't express it. It's my movie of the summer. I'm more hyped for it than I am for Deadpool and Wolverine. And I'm excited for that, too.
That's the right choice.
But, man, you've just turned such a heel on Deadpool.
It doesn't look good.
Oh
you know what's good? X-Men 97.
That is a heel turn. Calm down.
Yeah. No, it's a heel turn for sure. No, man, I'm also getting excited for Twisters.
Twisters looks awesome. It's by an elite director who makes nothing but banger, deep-hearted, dark dramas.
Please watch Minari, people. That movie's
Minari's amazing. And are you kidding me? It's got everybody you want in it. Glenn Powell is the new rising star. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man, his career's doing something that we don't see often lately.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull up something that I think we should end the show on, a new topic.
All right.
Or just to discuss. But while I'm finding the article, I believe it was a Hollywood Reporter article, I want you to tell me your thoughts on Andy Serkis directing a Lord of the Rings prequel about Gollum.
I think it's really dumb.
I found the article right here.
First off, that title, I think it is like called The Search for Gollum, right? Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, something like that.
The Hunt for Gollum. Good Lord, who cares? I know.
The Hunt for Gollum. Sounds like a video game.
Yeah, it sounds like a video game or like a one-off comic book or something. Like, Gollum's fun. Like, it's so impressive what they did for the character of Gollum, what Andy Serkis delivered to it. It's a great side character, just in terms of, like, what the story is going for. But I don't need this. I don't need this at all. If you want to do a prequel for Lord of the Rings, fine, I guess. It's not going to live up to what the originals were, that's for sure. But holy cow, this is what we're drawing towards for coming up with a movie now? Like, this is so depressing and sad to me. And
the title could change. Could change.
Maybe. I hope. I hope it changes and it becomes something completely different. And in terms of Andy Serkis, look, I like that he's exploring directing. I like him as an actor. His movies haven't really grabbed my interest enough.
They've been okay. Venom was okay. Venom was fun.
His Mowgli movie was impressive, but not what I'm writing home about. So him taking over this seems like a bit of a leap in my opinion, but I just hope he does his best to make um, Peter Jackson proud, but I just don't have much of an appetite to want to have interest in this.
You know, I'm gonna keep this Lord of the Rings combo going a little longer than I should because Kyle and I are both in a similar boat to a lot of other people, and it's really funny to me because some of our friends who are huge Lord of the Rings stands uh, tend to react this, the way they think that I think you and I actually do react in
How
terms
we
of
used
Star
to.
Wars or
Yeah.
Marvel. We don't really react like that anymore, but
No.
um, I saw them later in life, and I really loved the last two. And I think the first one I remember just liking. I didn't love it as much,
Sure.
but I do really like them. I couldn't finish the Amazon show. I thought it was so bad. The Hobbits are bad outside of the barrel scene, and I don't even remember if that scene's good. I just remember leaving the theater, bringing that one scene up, and I've never let it go since.
Because it was
But
awesome.
but like Lord of the Rings, when we talk about franchises that struggle, they're struggling. Okay? If you are trying to make more good movies, you better make something dang good. I love Andy Serkis. I don't know if he's the guy to start that move. Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't Andy Serkis who made Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and it was, and he's getting a Lord of the Rings prequel
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure that, and I love Andy. Andy Serkis is so freaking good in Andor. Oh my god, he's so
Oh,
good.
that's right.
When he's,
Yeah.
I can't swim, Kyle. I can't swim. Oh my!
Mm.
Rewatching Andor now. What a great time.
Yeah.
That's why I was busy not watching X-Men '97. Okay, I was watching Andor for the 15th.
You got me.
You got me. I wasn't, but yeah, you got me. I was watching Meryl Streep movies. Okay, I wanted to get through a couple more Meryl movies before I started watching
okay,
a show.
That's fair. That's fair.
I even have put Knuckles on the back burner for all you. That's next.
Wow, that
okay?
is dedication.
And you know I freaking love me some Sonic the Hedgehog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's nice teaching children to like Sonic these days. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Lord of the Rings is struggling more than Star Wars, and I will die on that hill. I'll die on it.
It's struggling more than Star Wars. I mean,
Star Wars is a prettier looking tree.
Okay, sure.
Better things have come out since the original trilogy. We've gotten better things. There's more, but anyway, I saw this article. Hollywood Reporter lists the top 10 young A-list stars at the top of the studio's most wanted lists today. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
I'm
Stop
not looking it up.
typing.
I'm not looking it up.
What are you typing? I was going to play a game with you.
No, I had to respond to a message. Keep going.
Guess. I want you to guess. There's 10 men on this top 10 and there's 10 women. I want you to guess who's on it.
Is there an age thing or does it just say young and
young? So anyone in their probably early 30s
or below
to younger. And I'm going to give you 3 lives here. You got 3 opportunities. Okay? If you miss one that's not on the list, you lose a life. If you don't get all 10, by the time you lose those 3, game over. And I win and you owe me $5,000.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I think he binded in. He agreed. He didn't register. He was too busy thinking.
Wait, no.
Right. Let's do ladies first here. So just start naming. You don't get 3 lives per, by the way.
Right,
I just wanted to make it easy for you. We'll start with just the ladies, then we'll jump over.
I would think. Well, Zendaya and Florence Pugh are going to be there.
That's 2.
I don't think the actress in Bones and All would be on this list.
Are you guessing that?
No, I'm going to stay away from that for now. Oh God, what other actresses are there?
A lot.
Maybe they throw in Anya.
Correct.
I almost said Anya Taylor-Johnson.
Anya Taylor-Joy. Correct.
Huh. Okay.
Incredible in Furiosa, by the way. She's awesome.
Oh God, I can't wait.
Furiosa's so good. I
gotta see that movie. Is Ao on there?
Nope. That's one heart down.
Wow.
If you want to switch over to the boys for a minute, okay? Get you a little bit higher up from the 3 out of the 10 you got right so far. You're welcome to it.
Mm,
If you just want to hit them all at once, go for it.
I'll switch over to the guys for a minute because I would think Timmy's gonna be there.
Timmy's there.
I think Austin Butler with Dune
Austin's
and
there.
Elvis would be on there. Okay, are they gonna toss in Tom Holland?
No, strike 2. And I
Ooh.
think they should have. Tom should be higher.
Maybe, yeah. I, I don't know how old Powell is. I don't
He's
think
on
he's
the
like
list.
he is on the list. Okay,
He's
so he is
on the
pretty
list.
young. Wow. Okay. Speaking of Powell, then I would think Sydney is on that list.
Sydney Sweeney is on that list. Glenn's only a couple years older than I am. About 4 years older. She's in the mid-30s.
Oh, okay. I was thinking he was in his 40s. Okay.
So you've gotten Zendaya,
Yeah.
Anya,
Yeah.
Sydney, Florence. You've gotten 4 out of the 5 girls.
Okay.
And then you've gotten Austin Butler, Timothy Chalamet, and Glenn Powell. You have 2 more boys. You have 1 more girl. And you've got 1 life left. What will he do? What will he do?
The 2 other male actors. I don't know if the main
I'll give you one
guy
hint.
from the. I don't know if I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna guess the main guy from The Bear. I'm not gonna make that guess yet. You can give a hint if you want.
You just watched a movie because I saw you rated on Letterbox with one of them.
Paul Mescal.
Bingo.
Okay.
He needed a hint, but he's there. He's there. He's limping,
Okay.
but he needed.
By the way, all of my strangers.
It's good.
Oh, it's so good.
It's good. I didn't like. Yeah, it's good. It's a good time.
Yeah. Anyway, recommendation for you guys there.
Had some issues.
Who would the last woman? Who would the last woman be in that list if it's not Ao? I don't think Haley Steinfeld's going to be on that list. I think people forget about her, and they shouldn't.
They really do, and
awesome.
they shouldn't because she's not on that list. I shouldn't be telling you that. I should make you guess, but I'm going to give you that one because Haley's amazing. Hawkeye season 2 officially greenlit.
Who would be? It's probably like an obvious one too. So I have 1 more guy and 1 more girl, right? And
you only got left. 1 more life.
Do I want to throw out the guy from The Bear? I don't think so.
Are you talking about
the main lead
too?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna guess him.
Jeremy Allen White. That's who it is.
Yeah, I feel like he's older than that threshold, so I'm not gonna say that.
Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah,
Jeremy Allen White.
He looks older to me for some reason.
He is younger than Paul Mescal or Glenn Powell. Sorry, I looked up Glenn. I mean, he's probably younger than both. He's 3 years older than you, or than myself, and 4 years older than you.
For some reason, okay, I'm just gonna throw a guess so we can keep this show going. I'm gonna guess, Daisy something from Where the Crawdads Sing.
You mean from the greatest film to ever approach cinema this summer, Twisters?
Oh yeah, she's in that too. Daisy Edgar Jones. I'm gonna guess her.
And you've lost the game. She is not on that list.
Nah, that was kind of a reach,
let's see. I'm going to try to give you hints for the last 2. The Boy, we'll go with The Boy, was in a movie that came out last year that you did not like. But everyone else did.
Oh, Barry. No, sorry. No, not Barry.
Yes.
Jacob. Okay.
Jacob Elordi is the other boy that you missed. And
that
for
makes
the
sense.
girls, she just had a trailer for one of her new movies come out yesterday or 2 days ago. I saw it yesterday.
I'm not gonna guess that one. I have no idea.
It's a sequel to a cult classic 90s film.
Well, it's not Twisters.
No, cult classic. Twisters is just
we learned it's not a cult classic.
Pure love. You can't call it a cult when the whole world agrees on something. You know,
a trailer.
Stop
for a
googling
cult?
Things. Stop looking up trailers. I'll give you more hints.
No, I'll concede. I'll concede.
No, I'm giving you more hints. There's no conceding. I'm going to make you play this game with me.
Okay.
Say
keep
it 3
going,
times, then. Kyle.
Who's seen it 3 times?
No, say it. Say it 3 times, Kyle.
Oh, Jenna Ortega. Yeah.
Jenna Ortega is
I
the
knew there was an
last
obvious
one.
one. Yeah.
Jenna Ortega is the last one. Austin Butler, Timothy Chalamet, Jacob Elordi, Paul Mescal, Jenna Ortega, Glenn Powell, Florence Pugh, Sydney Sweeney, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Zendaya. I do think Daisy that you mentioned
She could get there.
is right on that. I would, if this is their top 10, she's down there. I think
Yeah.
Tom Holland's down there. Right, he's the next two on this list. Because I don't know how
No
you
AO
don't.
though.
AO, I bet, is on that big list somewhere, but not a top 10. You gotta, I think, have a few more big time movies, right? Because she's been in some
I
good movies lately, but they were streamers
Sure, yeah. I just thought
outside
with
of bottoms.
her rising fame is just so evident and her
It
winning
is.
awards. I just assumed they would throw her on that list. Not necessarily
Well,
that it's right, but
took Zendaya a while too. Even just won a bunch of awards for season of Euphoria, and it still
yeah,
took a while for this kind of motion to happen. But
sure.
um, we got a few minutes left. End this real quick. Out of all those boys, Austin Butler, Timothy Chalamet, Jacob Elordi, Paul Mescal, Gwen Powell, who is if you were hiring a male for a lead right now, and those were your five, you could get any one of them, who do you take? And we're not going to play any games. It depends on the movie and the character. Just who do you
Right.
take off the top of your head, for fun. You know what I mean?
I would lean towards Austin Butler.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think he has a unique look. And I think he's shown that
Elvis.
he's not afraid to get weird with his, or not weird, but he's not afraid
He's
to.
got range.
Yeah, the range is just so interesting to me that I would just be so appealed to wanting him to be in something of mine if I was making a movie.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. I think Austin actually might be my first as well. I think Paul Mescal's higher up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're forgetting how good After Sun really is, how good he is in it, or Timothy. But all right, now for the ladies: Jenna Ortega, Florence Pugh, Sydney Sweeney, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Zendaya. Out of those ones, you can pick any leading lady. Who do you take?
I'll lean towards Zendaya. I'm
Oh,
so
interesting.
still thinking about challengers.
Interesting. I'm torn between Anya and Florence, and it's maybe because I'm torn between. I just saw Furiosa.
I'll take that back. Haley Steinfeld. That's the correct answer.
I was about to say that, you son of a gun. I'm not even kidding. I was like,
I'm
but at
such
the
a
end of
jerk.
the day, I was
I'm
about to
such
be
a
like, but at
jerk.
the end of the day, I want Haley Steinfeld. But
I'm sorry.
Hey.
I took that from you. I took that.
But these are people that have had a lot of success, within the last 4 or 5 years that have continued to rise up. Because I think Joseph Quinn is also someone who's probably a little bit lower on this list, but still has an opportunity. He hasn't, right? Some of them haven't had these big movies hit
Quiet Place,
quite yet.
Gladiator
Yeah,
2,
Quiet Place.
Fantastic Four. Personally,
Yeah.
I'm not high on that actor, but there's clearly something in the water to where people like him. So I'm very curious to see if he's
Quiet
going to grow
Place
on me.
I think will be good.
Yeah. I'm just happy to see Lupita Nyong'o again, man.
Me too.
She's so good.
All right. Guys, what did you think of this episode? Comment below. Let us know. I'm going to like, subscribe, and share. Help us get to that 2,000. Get a free hoodie. And as always, thanks for watching, man.
See you guys.